Good morning. Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. G'day, mate. Ripper. Shall I throw a pip on the bobby for ya? Thanks, JR. Okay. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of 19,000 foreign exchange traders. Thank you for being here and thank you for being a subscriber. My name is Wayne McDonald. I will be your guide on this thing we call Forex. So please ask questions, get involved, take notes, treat each other with dignity and respect. Let's go. Let me remind you that trading is risky. It's not appropriate for everyone. Oh, no. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Like I said earlier, ask questions, get involved, and I will do my best to answer your questions, whether it be technical analysis, fundamental analysis, trader psychology, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. What do we want to do today? Today's a great day. Today's a Thursday. Well, we'll go through the charts. How about that? The other thing is, sometime today, you should be spending time focused on next week. Okay, next week should be what's on your mind. Today we got some news, retail sales. That's very important, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, companies are starting to report their earnings, so that's a good market mover. But we'll go through the dollar pairs, the yen pairs. We'll do gold and oil and Bitcoin as well. Maybe we'll look at the exotics. I'd like you to visit tradersway.com, open up a demo account, download MT4 or MT5. That's a good start. And develop a relationship with Traders Way. Hopefully they earn your loyalty and respect. And then when you're ready to trade real money, you have an execution partner for your new successful Forex trading business. If you like my chart templates, the link is in the description below. If you want to learn my style of trading, the link is in the description below. If you prefer to buy a book, the link to the Amazon is in the description below. There's a lot of Thursdays, lots of resources. In the description below. And yes, as Maida said, best day of the week is Thursday. I think so too. Coolio, right on. So, yeah, let's just get on with it, huh? Bum. Yen is down. Yeah, boy. Okay. That is down. Nice. Pound is up. Aussie's up. Kiwi is way up. Euro finally collapsed. CAD's back on. And then Swissy's up. Remember, it was hitting some key levels. So I believe I shorted USD CAD yesterday. And I went long, I think, pound yen and Aussie yen. Those are my 3 for the day. Coolio. So let's go take a look, see what kind of mess we got ourselves in. Starting with the Aussie. Oh la la. Yeah, yeah. Ooh la la, yeah, yeah. Very cool. It's working out really nice. Okay, we're breached the 84. There's a buy zone down here for Asia, but we're a good 12 hours away from that. So there could be some more up. The interesting thing, though, if you're doing just standard operating day trading, your buy zone's in here, right? There's a combination of 21 and central pivot. And the projected target was 84. So we're not really supposed to go any higher. Now Hope says, hey, it's going up to 86. Yes, but not today. Right? Maybe, but not today. Okay, that would be not a day trade. Cool. So everything's tickety-boo on that one. The higher high makes me feel great. Kitty Cad. Let's get off the 5-minute. The reason I'm on a 5-minute is I was teaching the day traders how to scalp in. And I believe we were here. Yeah. How to get in on a 5-er. Huh? 5-minute scalp? Coolio. So that's way down here at 91. And now we're at 91.6 on your AM dial. No, on your FM dial. 91.6 WPIP. Yeah, cool. Cool. Nice. Great. Love it, huh? Cool. Yeah. You been on it all day? Yeah, I just bought it and went to bed. I switched from Petite Syrah to Cabernet. Went to bed. Cool. It's working great. Cool. I'm also on USD Kitty Cat, but we'll look at that later. Euro, hey man, playing the game now. We went for quite some time without it playing the game. Let's get off the 4 and let's do the hourly. And again, this is something that the day trading group has been working pretty hard on. You trying to use both the dailies and the hourly. And yeah, it's been kind. Only because there's a trend. I'll remind you, like if suddenly you're using a tool and you're like, oh man, I've never noticed this before, but now I'm so good and I'm making all this blah, 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 blah. What's happening is the trend showed up. So I would spend most of my time, if I were you, learning how to predict when trends show up. Because the tools that are working so good for you now will stop working and then you won't know why. They're only working because there's a trend. It's fixing all your mistakes. Yeah, Hope. Actually, I've been looking at vineyards in not Sonoma, but in the area just north of Calistoga, if you know that part of Napa Valley. Okay, called the Knights Valley. So that might be an interesting place to retire, I think. But not Sonoma. Sonoma's nice, though. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, if you look it up, there's some pretty nice properties if you want to have a small vineyard and live in an art gallery. And look at, yeah, that sounds like me. All right, great. So this one is now rising. Okay. This goes all the way back to here. It was an example of how to enter a mediocre trade aggressively without taking on too much risk. And the reason this mediocre is you're at a take profit, but you're aggressive, so you're going to buy it out of position. You're going to buy it at resistance, but there's not many situations in which you would even consider doing something like that. That just happened to be one of them, and I'm really glad it worked out, because as a coach, it's hard to say like 99% of the time this will fall, but not this time, not that particular time. Okay? So you're like, well, dude, why? Well, anyways, I was right. So anyways, this was me being aggressive here, buying it out of position. It did come down and give us a day trade. Then it made a higher high. Then it came back, made a higher low. I decided not to exit, even though I was at break even. I moved my stop, or kept my stop back there. Then it made a new higher high. Then it made a new higher low. So as you guys know, that's when I moved my stop to break even. Not that it's moving up, but that it's made a higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, this allowed me to move my stop. Anyways, so now we got a new higher low and a new higher high and maybe a new higher low. So this was that aggressive trade at 154, and now it's up 150 pips. Drop the mouse, walk off stage. That's how you do it, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Cool. Hey, you're welcome. Cool. That's how you do it, boy. This one's down at, this is me long at 151, and now we're at 155.50. So correct me if I'm wrong, that's 450 pips large. Okay. Mina says, I understand that the trend is present now, but I believe that the day trading with you now helped me get new trades in. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, that's the reason I did it. So I'm very happy that you're finding success. Just remember, it comes and goes. It ebb and flows, right? Never get too confident. Just do the job. Okay. Cool, but I'm glad you're finding day trading. I've had, let's just say, more than a few requests for me to keep doing it after the end of the year. Well, we'll talk about it later. Cool. So anyways, that's working out great. No, well, I don't mean it that way. It's Thursday, man. I'm just tired. I didn't mean it that way. So Kiwi's even finally done it. That's great. Moving on up. So standard operating procedure. This is an obvious buy. This is an obvious exit. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Climbing, 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 climbing. Everything's great. So the next real hard target is up here at 80.50. But, 80, man. Look, I mean, that whole area makes sense to me, right? 80 and then 80.50. Tomorrow's target is actually 80.50. So maybe it comes up to 80, comes back down to 79.40, 79.25, and then up. We'll see. We'll see. Would you be buying? No. And by the way, Big Perm, that's what I'm doing in the day trading course. So 3 times a day, I see my group, including the 8 a.m.s. And that's all we talk about. I mean, that's what we do. So, so going back, to the yens? Okay, let's put this in context. So let's just pick one of these. I don't really care. CAD. Okay. How do I trade this? What's the general operating procedure? We bought this like 12 hours ago. Do you understand that? That's what I'm teaching. We bought this 12 hours ago. What do I do now? Nothing. I'm done. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm already done Wednesday. So I'm already done Thursday, and I'm already thinking about Friday and Monday. So that's how I do it, Big Perm. This is already done. We did this on a 5-minute chart at 8 p.m. last night. This is Oscar Mike. This is gone. Easy. Okay. Okay. So would you drop into a 5-minute chart now? Yeah. It's all kind of the same thing. Sure. I gotcha. Another thing I like to use is the hourly 5, but all right. So, the hourly 21, but this is just gone. So yeah, picking up these little moves. I don't necessarily do it that way. I don't necessarily not do it that way, but could you? Yeah, you're tactically just doing the same thing differently. Okay. But think about it logically, right? Not that what you said is illogic, but let's put this into rules of engagement. I'm a bull. You guys know that. I told you 6 months ago I'd be a bull. Great. Everybody knows. Great. Bulls buy low. So you're asking me, do I drop into a 5-minute chart and buy all these pullbacks? Well, is any of this considered low? Would you consider that low? Anything in here? No. Okay. Now, when we had a higher high, I define higher low as somewhere around here. Okay. In particular, this is a new day. So I would consider that a low. Now we have a higher high, right? How high will it go? I don't really know, but I'll probably buy it around here. I call this not an HH, but an RR. And I see 91.50. Okay. I see 91.42. 91.42. And in there, an hourly is going to catch up, right? So this is going to kind of steepen up. So most likely in the next 24 hours, I'll get some sort of chow. And now I'm done. Look, I'm done Thursday. See you guys later. Thank you for coming. So that's what I do. That's what the Wayne do. What do I do now? Dude, I'm counting my pips. You have to understand, for example, my goal is to make somewhere between 2 and 5% per month. Last night, I'm up 0.5% just last night. So yeah, I'm crushing it. Crushing it. Cool. Just doing something simple like that. So what do I do now? Dude, I gassing the jet. Right? I'm gassing the jet, baby. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, right? Cool. All right, so let's zip over to the buck. The buck starts here. Piggy, 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 can't you see? Yeah. All right. What do we know? Talk to me, Goose. Well, this is the buy zone from last night. This one we covered at 3 p.m. yesterday in the day trading group. And here it is 8 o'clock in the morning and we're already done Thursday. This is Thursday's trade we set up on Wednesday afternoon. And here it is Thursday morning. We hit our target and look at the hard stop. Look at that. 1.3721. It's not like some oh, let's just take this up to 137.50. That's a very specific number. And hard stop. Look at this. Entry, hard stop. 136.32. The goal was to get it to 1.3721. Not random, not just big round numbers. These are very precise, very specific numbers. And here it is, Thursday, 8 o'clock in the morning. We're already done. Cash in the bank. Done. So what are we going to do tomorrow? Well, we're looking somewhere, I can't quite see that, 136.98. Maybe. Could be. Now, you have to ask yourself, it's Thursday, we hit an R2 and stopped. Is it really going to go higher? Is that really what you think is going to happen today? It might. I'm not saying it will or won't, but you have to understand basic rules of engagement. Basic rules of engagement are important 99.9% of the time, right? This right here predicts this this pink zone. So if you know how to trade, you bought this Tuesday or Wednesday, it's Thursday and you're done. You just hit the whole dang thing. Okay? That's done. That's a swing trade. This is what we cover on Thursday. So yes, everybody at 3 p.m., day trading group and swing trading group will be meeting to set up next week's trades. But anyways, this swing trade here, that's standard operative procedure, very basic entry. And this is the very basic target. That's what we do. Cool. So now we have to set up next week. So this week is now done on Pig Dog, Euro, climbing up, moving on up. Okay, using the hourly 21. Big pullback. Okay, this might be an opportunity. Could be an opportunity. I don't know. We have news. Okay, so the news will definitely impact this because it's important news. But what do we have here? We have a roll reversal. We have a psych. We have a daily central pivot. Tomorrow's central pivot. Okay. I think that's elevated, but whatever. And then, of course, we have the EMA. Get in the trade. Did I take this trade? No. I do not like Euro USD. Okay. No, not even. Really, I haven't even been interested. I've been trying to get more interested in it, but I keep trading what I've been trading. Okay. So no, here's what I'm actually thinking. I'm thinking we're coming actually, no, look, I tried to buy this. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a limit order right here. And I like that limit order. I think I'm going to leave it. Okay. But anyways, the way I would probably trade this is let it come all the way back to here. So that means, yeah, yeah. That's kind of, so I think what this is setting up is retail sales is going to be a bad number and it's going to pull this down. And then we're going to take off next week. My guess. Or not my guess. That's what it's set up. That's what the setup is showing. But I don't know what retail sales will be. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. So, do we have retail sales today or not? No, I guess we don't. I just pulled up a calendar. I guess we don't. What am I thinking? Typically, it's not on a Friday. Is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow. Huh. All right. So, yeah, no big deal. Sorry. I very often don't use calendars. I mean, I do, obviously, like the Forex.Today calendar. But the thing is, I just go from memory. So, I just knew CPI was yesterday because that's when it should be. So, you know, I almost have it memorized, right? But yeah, it's tomorrow. PPI, yeah, PPI is somewhat interesting, but I don't think it's going to crash the market or anything, right? Jeffrey says, so does it mean don't? If in a downtrend, if it's at R1, the tag at will be S1? Jeffrey, have you taken the training courses at FX Bootcamp? That's probably the best start. I'm not sure what you're saying. I don't really care about R1 and S1, so I don't know. I don't know what you're asking. I'm sorry. Anyway, so here's my CAD dollar trade. I sold this little pullback yesterday. Why? That was the trade plan. And it worked out way better than I thought. Yeah, just fxbootcamp.com. Let me give you a hint. It's $500, but if you type COVID-19, if you type that in to the coupon area, the discount area, whatever, there's a little coupon area, it lowers the price reasonably. So it's not $500. It's not even $400. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean? Yeah, just get on board, dude. All right. Let's get past that. Yeah, let's get past that. Let's get going. Your future's waiting. No, not the group. That's just the video training courses. You can't join the group if you don't know what you're doing. We don't want you to be part of our group. Okay. So you have to sign up for the videos first. All right. WTI. Look at this. I drew this out for you. And how did it work? Up, down, and up. Cool. Cool, right? Cool, right? So this, so far, I mean, it hasn't made the higher high yet, but this move off of this area here, which we call an RR, that is pro global macro, which is me. That's pro my strategy. Okay, that's pro what I'm trying to achieve. That is my fundamental bias. So it doesn't mean that it's just confirming that I can do what I need to get done. Okay, I have permission to engage. This is gold going up. You're welcome. As you can see, I had this plan way back at the 3rd week of September. We have this set to go up, then we have it set to come down, and then we have it set to go all the way to, basically 1800, right? This is back near 1700. And yeah, it took a little longer. Oh my God, it took 8 days. How come I can't get rich quick? So now we're up here near 1800. You're welcome. Okay. Yeah, I know. It took 8 days. Whew. Can't wait that long, Wayne. Cool. Great. How nice is that? You should thank gold for treating you nicely. Okay. And there's the new zone. Okay. Yeah, very nice, right? Yeah. Now it took a long time. The thing is, for most people, they give up right about here. They give up. It's implausible. Okay. Often what I talk about is like, I gave an example a couple of nights ago, I think, where I said, look, so I buy stocks, right? I've made a couple of purchases in the last couple of weeks, right? But it's for my retirement account. Okay. The nice thing about living in America is that they like people. America loves people that own assets. It's really set up for rich people. That's why I like being rich. So what does that mean? I make income. I earn income. Okay. But I own a business. So it's business income. So I take a distribution and, right? So I take a distribution and I pay taxes, right? Except it doesn't quite work this way. In America, it's quite different. The business pays income. The business pays some taxes or has to do its accounting. And then comes me. Well, my business is a good business. So it says, hey, before I pay you, I'm going to put this into a retirement account. Just like if you were working at Apple Computer or IBM, you have a 401k. Hey, my business has a 401k and puts a lot of money in it for me. And that money that goes in here didn't go to me. So me doesn't pay taxes on it. Ho, 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 ho. What? So it's something like, I don't know. I think it's something like $50,000 a year. My business puts over here. And that's what I buy stocks with. Because it's my retirement account. So when I buy a stock, my point is now I buy a stock, but I don't watch it for 4 hours and then take profit. I buy it, and then I don't look at it again for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I'll go, oh, how were those Chinese ADRs doing? Oh, look at that. I'm up 300%. Cool. Okay? And then me pay taxes. Now, of course, this goes to me eventually, and then I pay taxes on that, but I defer this. I might not pay taxes on this money for 25 years. Right? And then I'm taxed when I take it out. Well, let's say, so what am I? I'm in my 40s, so let's say I put $50,000 into this account every year for 20 years. How much money is that? Oh my God. I have $1 million in a retirement account and I haven't paid any taxes on that $1 million. That's nice, right? But you have to understand the $1 million is compounding is compounding every 8 to 10 years, right? Or it's compounding every year. So by the time I'm done, it's probably going to be worth, I'll pick a number, $3 million. Because I put in $50,000 every year instead of paying taxes, I just put it in here, bought those stocks, and over 20 years, it's doubled and doubled again, let's say. Cool. Now I have $3 million, and now I withdraw $100K per year, let's say, because I think there's a minimum. I have to withdraw some of it. And now I pay taxes on the $100K. But I got my $3 million for free because I was trying to lower my taxes. Oh, I love it. I love it. But going back to what I was saying, right? You buy the stock and then you walk away. You're done. You don't stare at it. You don't stare at it. Okay. So I think what happens here is people just get so caught up in their short-term charts and they're just staring at this. I mean, it's okay to do it. I'm not poo-pooing on short-term charts. I use them all the time. But you have no bias because you have no idea why you're buying. You're just buying because your MACD told you, you bought because of a stochastic, you bought something, but you're not saying, by the end of the year, this is on its way to 2000. So I definitely want to buy this around either 1700 or 1750. If you just done that and walk away, boom. You understand? There's so much drama in here. And it's unnecessary. Actually, I bought a fund yesterday. I bought a fund. And the fund invests into ADRs. And so I've been looking and looking and looking at which ADR, which one should I buy, which one should I buy. And they came down 30, 40%. And I know around October, I wanted to buy and I just couldn't pick the right one. And of course, last week was a huge week for ADRs. I'm like, dude, I get it. And it's a 5-10 year play, right? So I just bought a fund that buys like 20 or 30 different ADRs. And much of so I looked at the weight of the fund and, I don't know, so it's got some BABA, it's got some Tencent, right? What's the other big one? Anyways, and then there was one in there too, which I thought was interesting. I think it owns Vail. And I was looking at Vail and a couple of other ones like Glencore. And stuff. So it wasn't just Chinese sort of tech companies, but some of the ADRs it held were commodities. And I'm like, okay, cool. And the fund was down, quite a bit because the ADR has been pulled down. So anyways, I'm like, you know what? That gets me it gives me the exposure I was looking for. So I bought that. And now I'm in 20 ADRs, right? And I thought that's good. That's the exposure I'm looking for. So it probably in 6 years from now, 10 years from now, that money will be up 300%. Cool. Free money because I want to lower my tax bill. By lowering my tax bill, I'll make $3 million by the time I retire. Cool. Just doing that. Nice. Cool. Okay, and then biddy, biddy, biddy. Yeah, boy. Okay. Having trouble over as we approach 60, but we're hanging on over 50, so interesting, right? Did I buy more Bitcoin? I didn't, but I'm expecting some coming in, maybe even today. I'm expecting some Bitcoin, so I'll probably end up paying quite a bit of attention to this today and tomorrow. Big Perm says, have you set up a 401k for my children? Well, 3 days after they were born, we had passports for them. Okay, and probably 7 days after they were born, they had retirement accounts. Well, actually college accounts, sorry. Okay, right, uni accounts. And money started flowing in. So yeah, within a week, yes. The thing is, you can't open investing accounts until you have ID. So that's why we did the passports first, which means all the paperwork was already filled out, filed, and all that kind of stuff. And then when it came back, all you had to do is provide a birth certificate and a picture, which is kind of funny. So yeah, so within just days of their birth, days, like they're tiny, tiny little creatures, they had passports with the pictures on. And my daughter flew to Spain when she was still in a baby Bjorn. So she was 6 months old hanging out in Spain. So she traveled with a passport, right? And already had money in her investing account. So yeah, that's what the Wayne do. But of course, that's all my wife. She's 10 times smarter than me. All right. But I'm smart enough to marry her, right? Oh, is that right, Samuel? Thank you. That actually might be some good reading. Thank you for that. Yeah, cool. All right, here's our peso. Down, 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 up, up. Don't sell it. But you can, okay? Because at the time, this area was up high. So the next one was let it make a new lower low, then sell the lower high. Okay, boom. Okay, great. Then let it make a lower low, lower high. Great. Then make it a lower low, lower high. Okay, and if you can't kick it off the CPP, kick it off the H121. Yeah, Arve says pay over 40% taxes on your income. Well, that's what you need to own a business. Okay? Because if you're a person, okay? If you're a person, you have ordinary income, right? And that is equal to guaranteed poverty. Because it says you don't own anything. 99% of the time, maybe 100% of the time, it says you exchange your time and labor for money. Ugh. You're a laborer. Ugh. Now, there's dignity in hard work. There's no doubt about it. Okay? But no one's going to overpay you. Oh, you're doing such a good job. Let me pay you too much. It doesn't happen that way, right? Because a business has to earn profit. So anyways, you have this ordinary income. In America, yeah, you will be taxed, boom, at 40%. Okay? And then what? You'll buy gas so you can drive to work. You'll pay 7% sales tax plus about 28% gas tax. And then you'll buy lunch and they'll charge you 7% on that. And then you take whatever's left over after all that crap and you invest it into the stock market, you make money, and then they're going to tax you almost 50% on that. But you're like, but you already taxed me on the money. I deferred my pleasure. I made smart, wise decisions. I reinvested into the economy and turned a profit, and you're going to tax me again? Oh my God, you're kidding me. Or if you own a business, it doesn't work that way. You take distributions, which is not ordinary income. Because it's not ordinary. It only happens time to time. But before you do that, before you take a distribution, right? You have write-offs. So your trading computer, for example. Okay? And you write off all your expenses, minus that, and then you take a distribution. Okay? So you get stuff like this. Tax write-offs. Why? They're tools. I actually use them. They're important to my business. Okay? I didn't pay taxes on that money. My business bought them as an investment. My business, just like everything, right? C plus I plus G. Okay? I is business spending. Because a business doesn't go on vacation. It doesn't go to the bar and buy a margarita. That's what consumers do. Consumers waste money. Total waste. Except for food, I suppose. You eat the baby bok choy and then it's gone. But this business spending is also known as investment. Which means I just naturally goes up over time because, well, not that you're adding more investment, but you're making money. Okay? Consumption is you go to Walmart and you buy a Vizio 4K TV for $387 and now it's done. It's gone. You don't have any money and this TV will be worthless in about 5 years. And it's gone. And you've lost that money. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take $50,000 a year, let's say, and spend it. They'll buy a car. They'll go on vacation. Okay? What I do is I take $50,000 by deferring my taxes, invest it into an account, and turn it into $3 million. Now what? Everything I buy between the age of 65 and 75. Okay, let's just pick on these years. Okay? Everything I buy between my age of 65 years old and 75 years old, because I'm smart now in my 30s and 40s, and hopefully I'm smart in my 50s, okay? Everything I buy will be free. Think of that. Every meal, every vacation, every car, every Christmas gift for my grandchildren is all free. That's just in the same way I say, look, if you ever own a Lambo, then the Lambo should be free. Because you own assets that go up in value and produce an income. So if you own an apartment building, if you put money and more money and more money and you invest and you invest and you defer your pleasure, meanwhile you own an apartment building that provides you free cash flow, and at the end of 10 or 15 years, it's gone up 50% to 100% in value, then you sell it. Well, you never want to sell it, but you refi it after 5 years, and you have $300,000 in cash now because you refied it, because the renters paid the mortgage for 5 or 10 years. Go get your Lambo. Your Lambo is free, and you still own the apartment building. You still have free cash flow, right? And you still have asset appreciation, and you have a Lamborghini. So if you paid money for a Lambo, you're poor. So you have to break the cycle is what I'm saying. The demo trader says, write off the BMW. Never. I would never do something like that. No. I am very, 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 very cautious. But you can write off taxes, yes. I don't write off a home office. I can. I don't write off the cars. I can't because the car is not related to my business. But a lot of people would. But look, if you spend your time trying to cheat paying taxes, you're just going to, just put the effort somewhere where you can just make more money. Okay? Okay? Steve says, it's a separate legal entity for me. Right. So there's the business, and then there's the person. So if you're a person and you go to someone else's business to work, and then they pay you for your time, okay, you're making the business owner rich. Because for every dollar you earn, you should make $3 in revenue. If you can't do that, you're fired. Okay? You're fired. You're just fired because there's other expenses that need to be done. Right? You're just totally fired. This is why if you work inside the company and you're not a revenue source, you're going to earn very little. But if you're like in sales and you come in and you make the money, you're the money maker, they're going to pay you more. Now, if you don't produce, you don't get any money. But, if you're in accounting and you're making $120K a year, that's cool, but you're a cost center, not a revenue center. And then you see the idiot salesperson with no college degree, and he comes in and makes $375,000. You're like, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, yeah, but he's bringing in the money, or she. Okay. And then this person has the college degree and is playing it safe and sits inside counting beans all day. Cool. That's a safe call. That's a good, safe call. You're not going to get overpaid for that. Okay? Risk, reward. And a lot of people just don't want risk. Great. And so they'll get the just reward. And that in itself, the safety net, the reliability is a reward. You have to look at it that way. If you've ever been a commission-only salesperson, you know exactly what I mean. When you're rolling into Christmas and you're trying to close a deal so you can buy gifts, right? Yep. Okay. The demo trader says, when do you pay yourself? You never want to pay yourself. Now, when I'm talking about my retirement account, that $50K per year. Okay, per year. I will not touch that for 20 to 25 years. And because of that, it compounds. Okay, compounds. Okay. So in the last couple of years, it's been going up 20% per year. On average, it's going to be 8% per year. Okay. Which means roughly every 10 years, it'll double. 10 years equals 100%. Okay. So if I got 20 years, it's going to double and double again. So you might want to say, okay, 50K for 10 years. Okay, that's 500K. But the thing is, the first 50K is doubled to 100. Right? Because it's been 10 years. So the first 50K is now 100K. The second one is probably 80K. The third one is probably 60K. The fourth year, right, is, well, I'm not doing the math right, am I? I'm not thinking, I was just lowering it. But anyway, so if you do the math, you're like, all right, by the end of 10 years, it's pretty good, right? Arve says, why don't you trade the money? I am trading the money. That's what I'm saying. But you're saying, you know, why not do Forex? Well, it's more difficult. The rules are much different when it comes to retirement account and stuff. I can, but I already do all that. So that would be adding more to the same. This is tax-deferred compounding retirement income exposed to the business cycle, right? So that's not... This is like literally money that comes out of my account automatically. So my business, okay, my business automatically transfers money to the retirement account. Okay? It's automatic. And I don't look at it the same because I already have my business and my business already does things, right? So I need something different from that, right? Okay. What if you lose? That's what my accountant does. I don't know. We make it all work. Remember, I'm not cashing out of these trades for 20 years, so I guess the answer to that SNDY is that they're not mark to market. So they're unrealized losses, right? So anyways, yeah, so anyways, you want to diversify, right, Arve? And the other thing, your Forex account will grow too big. You're going to find that out. It's going to grow too big, and you'll buy real estate or something like that. You'll end up buying other assets and diversifying. I mean, Forex, because of the leverage, I mean, you get to a point where it's enough. Right? Most people don't need jet planes and penthouses and yachts. Most people just end up having a really easy, great life. Okay? And they end up doing that. Because what happens as soon as you start paying yourself, you're reducing that compounding. And what'll happen is you'll just make enough where you're like for example, let's say, I don't know, I don't want to pick a number, but you'll just get to a point where you're just living your life. You're just living your lifestyle. You're not time goes by and all of a sudden, like maybe it's the young man's game that wants to have jet planes and penthouses and pretty girlfriends, models and bottles, and drive a Lambo. But by the time you do all that, where you can afford all of that, you're married, you got kids, you have to worry about retirement account, you got to put your kids through college. I need $500,000 to put my kids through college. So you understand? So all of a sudden, your life becomes pretty normal, right? Your life becomes pretty normal. But by the time they're all in college and stuff, that's when you buy your Lambo, because you've invested your whole life, and you say to yourself, you know what? Never did buy that yellow Lambo. So you do it. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I deserve it. And you buy yourself a yellow Lambo. And that's why you see older people with Lambos. It's the young ones that got it from their daddy. Lucas says, priorities change a lot over time. Well, it's just that you mature. That's all, right? That's all. So if you think about it, the young man that wants a Lambo, and he's dreaming about it. Wow, but it's $300,000. I wish they would say, I want $3 million when I retire. I wish that was the end game. You understand? There's this great commercial, and I don't remember which financial company it is, but people are walking around a busy part of town, right? People are walking around, and how much money they have is above their head. How much is in their retirement account? 2 million, 7 million, 12 million, 327,000. And it's really interesting, because if you knew what other people were doing, it might change what you're doing. Okay? Right? And it's fascinating. If you knew, you could go up to somebody and say, oh my God, you're about my age, but you have 400% more money in your retirement account. What is it that you're doing? Okay? Bikinis and Lamborghinis. Anyways, so yeah, to me, it's sort of like, in Harvard, one of the things we had to do in one of the classes is, what's a real woman? And, an example, like, what is a real man? It can be a complicated definition, but my definition is, you take care of your legacy first. If you take care of yourself first, you're not a man, you're a boy. The interesting thing about that quote, you don't have it quite right, but I know the quote you're saying. It's when he's in the limousine. But you have to realize that 1980, whatever that movie was supposed to, I think it was 83 or something, 400K is $1 million now. Right? And also, the other thing is, he's like, you see that apartment over there? I bought that and sold it and made $1 million. And he said it was greater than, it was a better feeling than sex. And then he says to himself, but now it's not even a month's wage. And it's true, right? Did I graduate from Harvard? Yes, I have 2 different degrees, a master's and a bachelor's from Harvard. Yeah. Cool. All right, neat. So it's a good day. We're talking about getting rich and spending money and saving money and making money. That's what happens on good days. On bad days, we'll talk about alcoholism. And if you blew up your account, what you're going to do now that your spouse has left you, and you're living out of a cardboard box behind your mother-in-law's apartment building. Right? So it's good when it's good. Remind yourself, it's not the trading, it's not your technique, it's not the moving averages, it's not the pivot points. You haven't been saved. This isn't everything. It's just we caught the trend. Okay? Clicquot Vouvet. You know, Madame Vouvet, or Madame Clicquot, I guess it is, invented champagne, which is not invented champagne, but the modern champagne anyways. We caught a trend and it's working out great, and the technical analysis is helping us get into the trades, but it's just a trend. Trends come, trends go. Ultimately, what I'd like you to do is get better and better and better at predicting when the trends are going to begin and when the trends are going to end. The rest is pretty easy. If you have a trend, it's easy. If you don't have a trend, that's typically when you lose money. Okay? And Maida says, and it's good when it's bad because you learn. Many people don't though, Maida. That's the problem. And so we spend a lot of time in the live groups, and you know, I've known you for several years now, right? We're constantly working on that. What can we learn? What can we do to make sure we're learning from right now? That sort of awareness is critically important, and most people just don't have the awareness. They don't have situational awareness. They don't see what's going on around them, yet alone learning from what's going on around them. And some people are just strange. I see them from time to time when I actually leave the house and I go out in the world. I see people that really, they can't tell I'm standing right behind them. They just can't tell. And they back up and they bump into you. And I'm like, you couldn't tell? Really? If someone's behind me, I can tell. And it bothers me because I turn around, I'm like, dude, you're too close. Why are you standing that close to me, right? Like, they just don't have situational awareness. But to take it even further, understanding the context of the situation that they're aware of, meaning what can we do today to be aware of what we just learned? What can I do to make it a learning experience? And what can I do to ensure that I remember it? Because I know I will forget 98% of everything. So if you don't consciously, actively manifest the learning experience where you say, I have to learn this, I have to remember this, I need to write it down, I need to sing it, I need to, teach other people what I just learned, because if you teach somebody else, then you might actually maybe remember it yourself. You have to fight for the experience of learning. So it's not just good enough to have a good experience. Don't worry about it because you're going to forget it. And it's not good enough to have a bad experience and say, well, I can learn from it. Well, 98% of the time we don't learn from it. Right? So we have to take it so much farther to always consciously, actively learn. You have to choose to remember. And there are ways to anchor. And I've done it with myself. I've anchored with my wife. I've anchored with my children. And the classic example I give is, you go up to a tree and you say to somebody, remember this tree, and you touch the tree. And the interesting thing about it, it's such a weird thing to just suddenly do that. Say, hey, come over here, touch this tree, feel it. And you will remember this tree for the rest of your life, this 1 second in time. I can't tell you what I ate for lunch that day. I can tell you when I did that with my wife, we were in Paris and we touched a tree. And I said, I want you to remember this tree. 1 hour later, I was on bended knee proposing. But I don't remember what I ate for lunch that day. Okay? I did that with my son when we were at MIT. I said, do you want to go to this school? He was 10 years old. I took him to MIT. Do you remember this tree? And we touched a tree. And I said, I want you to remember it. And if you truly want to go to this school, because you have an engineering mind, then you're going to have to fight for it until you can come back to this tree and touch it and say, I made it. So you got to fight to learn, fight to remember. Do what you can to succeed. Most people can't. Most people don't. So if you truly are different, if you truly are special, if you truly believe you're going to be a big success, way beyond what an average normal person does, then you have to do above average things. And it's not always fighting harder. It's being smarter. It's acting smarter. It's taking those extra steps that most people just can't do or they're unwilling to do. They're like, yeah, patience, discipline, I got it. How do we make money today? So you have to be different if you're going to be special. Because if you're not different, you're not special, you're normal. Normal is mediocrity. You have to be extraordinary to just do slightly better than average. I want you to think about that. You have to be extraordinarily different to be slightly better than average. It's very difficult to get out of mediocrity. But if you can break through that mold, because we've been trained to be mediocre from the day we were born. So if we can break out of that, it's really interesting what happens on the other side. Raymond says, right on, that trading everything's helped so much. That's awesome. I want you guys to be a part of my team. I want to be hanging with you 10 years from now. I know I've only been doing YouTube for 20 years, but I want you guys to be working with me. I want you to be part of my team 10, 15, 20 years from now. And the consequence of that is we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be very interesting. You're going to make me filthy, stinking rich beyond belief. But you'll do all right yourself, and we'll have a good time together. But that's what happens. Someone's got to be Axelrod, might as well be me. And you'll be Dollar Bill. And you'll be fine. And then one day you'll go out and you'll start your own fund. You'll hire a bunch of traders, a bunch of analysts. You'll bring in money. You'll manage all the clients. You'll make the big calls. Cool. So let's make that happen. If you're on my team, I'll see you at 3 p.m. And if you're on my team, I'll see you at 8 p.m. And if you're not on my team, if you haven't joined FX Bootcamp, well, then I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, visit tradersway.com, open up a demo account, start that relationship, allow them to earn your loyalty and respect. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised and pleased. If you want to learn my style of trading, fxbootcamp.com. You can't join any of my live groups until you do the videos at fxbootcamp.com. The coupon code is COVID-19. If you don't know how to trade, then you can't join my live group. Like, what are we going to do? Tell you what to do? No. Go through the training, then and join the group. Peace on earth, may the pips